Oh no. There is trouble brewing. It looks like this is all over, boys. Time to pack up and head home. The shills are too strong. Wait. Look. Our based Aussie Imam cannot be silenced.
Giant tropical centipedes share their territories with tarantulas. Despite its impressive length, it's a nimble navigator, and some can be highly venomous.
They want to rip you apart.
As quick as lightning, just like the tarantula it's killing, the centipede has two curved, hollow fangs, which inject paralyzing venom.
Listen, honestly, I'm Muslim. You want to practice taqiyya with me? Honestly? You think I don't know what taqiyya is?
This centipede is a predator.
What's going on with genital mutilation and child brides, and what's happening in this country? Since when did we accept this type of attitude in Australia? Although this will get me in trouble, I've never said this before, but Palestine is Jewish land. I mean, come on, who doesn't know this? Jesus came to Jerusalem. He came to the Israelites who were there. It's Jewish land.
Wow. Trad has lost the plot.
He's the head of the Australian Federation of Islamic Councils.
The Federation of Islamic Councils needs a review. All of it. They all need a review.
You can't shake the shake.
From our Sky News studios in Melbourne, live, The Vault Report.
Why is it, though, that we haven't heard many voices calling for reform from Islamic scholars in Australia?
Well, firstly, because they cannot betray what they've been taught.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying, because this goes to the point whether Islam can be reformed.
Well, it has to reform, otherwise it won't survive. Muslims won't survive, and nobody will survive if it doesn't reform itself. And by reformation, I mean getting rid of books such as this. This here is Sahih al-Bukhari, Andrew.
That's one of the sacred texts. It's not the Quran, but it's one of the Sahih.
This here is placed right next to the Quran in any Muslim shelf.
So you think ditch one of the holiest texts in Islam, the holiest text outside the Quran. You think ditch it?
Ditch it and ban it, and it should be illegal to have this book. Let me read for you.
I'm just wondering, when you go and say things like that, how popular are you in the Muslim community?
I'm not popular at all because they don't like this.
There are books that are regarded the second book after the Quran. And all mainstream Muslims believe in this book. The Bukhari, a very famous book. It's present in at least the majority of Muslim homes, at least. It's everywhere. It's put on the shelf right beside the Quran. And every act of terrorism is taught from that book. And that book is widely available and sold and published in Australia. And then you have other very attractive statements that they state that you go and you get 72 virgins. But what kind of a virgin is she that I would have to blow myself up for her? How to change a religion is as easy as creating a religion. You need one book, one man who knows how to talk, and lots of money. And in some areas, a few bodyguards. That's all you need to start a religion. But how do you reform a current ideology? Number one, government needs to realize that the books that are being taught in Muslim schools and that are in the shelves of mosques need to be taken out, opened up, see the publisher, and posted back to where they came from. Simple as that. We don't need to burn anything. We don't need to create tension. Just gather the books, and thank you very much. That's number one. Secondly, secret services need to monitor the movements of every religious leader. The lectures, if they're in Arabic, what are they saying? The examples they use. Do they have private lessons? Money in the bank accounts? How many wives do they have? This is very important. Many people don't realize this. Muslims have more than one wife in this country.
Hold up. Say what?
Polygamy is not legal in this country.
No, but it's happening, Nick. It's happening.
But to single out one community.
I'm sorry, it's happening, Nick.
But
that is the religion.
singled out.
Don't bury your head in the sand.
No.
Now I know religion says you can have more than one wife. Many other religions do so. Many denominations in Judaism and Buddhism allow that. But we need to come to one common understanding that it's either we follow the law of the land or we don't. If we do, then it's one wife. If we don't, then go back to where you came from and have as many wives as you like.
Imam Tawhidi has courted controversy, saying Muslims should put Australia ahead of Islam, all Islamic colleges should be banned, and a temporary ban on immigration put in place.
We need more Muslims showing that we really love this country, and I push my community to that, yeah.
He also says halal certification is unnecessary, existing only to generate money for Islamic federations.
Stamping Islamic terminologies on Mars bars and Twix and cherry ripe, and what does this have to do with religion?
It's about time the female politicians stop dressing in headscarves when they go to Muslim countries. I know it's good to respect other people, but if you're the foreign minister, you're a foreign minister with your uniform and your badge, and if they don't respect you as a woman to come and dress in what you like to dress, then that's a country we don't want their embassy, we don't want anything to do with them. If they don't respect our foreign minister, regardless of what country that is. There's no need to compromise when it comes to Muslims. Look, this is Australia. This is what it is. You like it, don't like it. We'll give you one of our kangaroos and you can hop back to where you came from. When my parents came to this country, they came because of Saddam Hussein's oppressive regime and the mass executions and the problems therein. But why did they come to Australia when many Muslim countries were still at peace? They could have gone to any other country that had no war. Many of the Arab Gulf countries are beautiful as you see them today. But my father made the choice, and he was an imam himself and still is. He made the choice to come to Australia because it was a non-Muslim country. And he wanted to adapt, and he wanted his family and children to adapt to that type of a lifestyle and follow that type of law. Now, if we knew that after 30 years we're going to have burqas running around and mosques being erected in every corner and people proposing Sharia law against democracy in this country, we wouldn't have come. But since I've been raised here and I drank Australia's water and ate its bread, I am not prepared to stay silent when I see people wishing to change this country and change its values and the democracy within. I believe that there is one law that should be followed in this government and in this country, and it's the Australian law that we all elect and agree upon. The Sunni school of thought believes that after the Prophet Muhammad, it is the caliphs that rule. Abu Bakr, Omar, and Uthman. They rule after the Prophet Muhammad. The Shia believe after the Prophet Muhammad, a man by the name of Ali rules, and then his grandchildren. What's the difference between the two? Ali believes, and that's who I follow, Ali believes that God sent his religion to guide people and not govern them with it. The Sunnah believe that the caliph is a caliph. He governs, he rules, he does whatever he wants. Which is why we Shia are the ones being executed today by ISIS, who stem from the Sunni school of thought. The caliphs, after the Prophet Muhammad, they massacred the household of the Prophet himself. So it's got nothing to do with Trump and Netanyahu and Israel. No. The Arabs themselves, during that time, they couldn't agree on a simple system of listening to who you believe in. And now we clash. Ideologically is how I clash with them, but I don't know why they want to kill me for. I don't know. So we see it ideological, they see it personal. In Australia, where there's freedom of speech and where there's democracy, many Muslims do not find it safe to speak out against extremism in their country. At all. And when I say they're afraid, they're not afraid of isolation, they're afraid of death. And I've been very close to that. And God saved me many times. There are things in religion that need reformation, and they will be reformed. And it's not very hard to reform. All you need to do is point the finger at what is wrong. If we start pointing the fingers at the Grand Mufti, at every corrupt Imam, every corrupt Muslim leader, and put them in their place, Islam will slowly change. Because we're living in Australia. There are many things that can take the Muslim's mind off radicalization. We have cinemas, we have beautiful ovals, we have everything, we have lovely TV shows. There's no color TV where they come from. It's beautiful. You have cinemas. Cinemas are banned in Saudi Arabia. It's not very hard. The atmosphere is here. We just need to make use of it. And I also oppose the construction of mosques. We have a big problem. Changing this country is something I am against. You can have one mosque in Adelaide, which is the oldest mosque, and then you can have centers. You can have educational centers. You can rent out university theaters, community centers. There's no need to be building mosques that later on are led by radical Muslim leaders.
Imam Tawhidi says the corruption of his religion doesn't stop with bigamy in Australia. There's also the vile trade in young child brides.
Having child brides is a tragedy in this time. It does happen. It happens in Australia. It happens to Australian citizens. I have come across families where they've taken their daughters overseas.
How old?
13 years old. Getting them married.